والجزائر طبعا متمسكة بهذه المساعي.
And the longest serving Minister of Foreign Affairs of Africa. In saying so, I think there is a hidden prayer that that duration will find a way to be extended soon. And if there could be any value to a movement by currently serving African ministers towards the Nigerian decision-making constitutional processes, I would be ready to volunteer and to lead such an effort. This being said, of course, without interfering in the domestic affairs of the sisterly Republic of Nigeria. So, honorable ministers, dear colleagues, brothers and sisters, deputy ministers, ambassadors, distinguished diplomats, current members of the PSC, incoming members, and also distinguished members of the A3, as well as friends of the group, members of delegations, distinguished senior officials from the African Union and the United Nations Secretariat, headed respectively by my dear brother and friend, Commissioner Bonkole, and Under Secretary General Jean-Pierre Lacroix, distinguished representatives of the partnering countries, friends of the seminar, as well as of the PSC, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a special mention of our brothers and sisters, the regional and local authorities of Oran. I thank you, and I thank them on your behalf for their hospitality, their availability, and their commitment to making of our stay a nice, productive, and friendly stay among our friends, our families here in Oran. Indeed, we are happy to count ourselves as actors of the Oran process, which will stay long alive, serving Africa and bringing together here in Oran distinguished members of Africa's diplomatic community from Addis Ababa, from New York and other places, from the capitals obviously, but also making of Oran a place that every year produces some new step on the way of strengthening multilateralism in general and Africa's multilateralism, serving the causes of peace, stability, security, and sustainable development. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me therefore great pleasure to welcome you all most warmly and to convey to you the greetings of His Excellency President Abdelmajid Tebboune, the President of the Republic, as well as his best wishes for the full success of the 9th high-level seminar of peace on peace and security in Africa. This annual gathering that you have collectively decided last year to name as the Oran process, while rightfully choosing this beautiful city to be its permanent host, has become an important source of inspiration in promoting our overriding objective of Africa speaking with one voice on the global stage, in particular within the United Nations Security Council. We are therefore truly honored to continue contributing to the success of this Pan-African and international endeavor by bringing together the main stakeholders involved in this authentic process, namely the members of the African Union Peace and Security Council, the African members of the UN Security Council, current, outgoing, and incoming, as well as high officials from both the AU Commission and the UN Secretariat and other related bodies. Our perseverance in pursuing this noble objective is all the more relevant today as the world is going through increasing tensions and mounting polarization against the background of a major crisis that threatens to revive one of the darkest chapters of human history, while exacerbating the negative impacts of many other existing crises, including in Africa. These new circumstances have unveiled again the structural weaknesses of the international system for the maintenance of international peace and security. In this regard, we firmly believe that Africa, which has long been calling for the reform of the UN Security Council to end up the historical injustice inflicted on it for nearly 8 decades now, is entitled to make its case over and over while emphasizing the urgent need for an inclusive and balanced multilateralism to address global challenges in an effective and efficient manner. Our continent, which has long inscribed respect for international law and non-alignment as essential components of its diplomatic action, has the will, the ability, as well as the much-needed wisdom to make a positive contribution towards the betterment of international relations, in particular in the present circumstances. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in this context full of uncertainties, we meet again today with the aim of making new steps in our path towards fulfilling the Pan-Africanist vision of the founding fathers of our continental organization, a vision that has been well articulated in Agenda 2063, which aims to achieve an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa driven by its own citizens and representing a dynamic force in the international arena. In this regard, and while welcoming with great satisfaction the progress made so far in terms of operationalizing the flagship projects of Agenda 2063, notably in terms of accelerating Africa's integration and development, I would like to emphasize that a united African voice within the UN Security Council is also an integral part of the Africa We Want project. You will no doubt agree with me that the A3 arrangement, which few years back took shape here in this same city of Oran, has become particularly critical in promoting Africa's major interests within the decision-making process of the UN Security Council. I take this opportunity to highly commend the current members of the A3, Gabon, Ghana, and the coordinator of the group, the Sisterly Republic of Kenya, for their tremendous efforts in championing African common positions, and congratulate all of them most sincerely on their unified role. I wish every success to Mozambique as they bring to the A3 their deep knowledge of conflict situations throughout the continent of Africa and make available to the A3 their wisdom and their well-known commitment to serving the just causes of Africa. Building on this dynamic, Algeria aspires to bring its share to this continental enterprise through its candidature for a non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council during the period 2024-2025. Our first and foremost objective is to join hands with our African fellows to consolidate the African bloc within the most important international platform for promoting peace and security in the world. In this connection, I would like to assure you that under the leadership of President Abdelmajid Tebboune and faithful to its constant and steadfast commitment to the causes of Africa, Algeria will spare no effort in upholding and promoting the principles of our organization while carrying the continental mandate that the African Union has entrusted upon my country, Algeria, when endorsing its candidature for a non-permanent seat in the Security Council. Dear colleagues, dear brothers and sisters, let me conclude by emphasizing again Algeria's firm conviction that in face of great upheavals, we need to uphold the even greater values of unity and solidarity to stir up our collective self-reliance while seeking partnerships that respect Africa's sovereignty rights in all areas of international life in order to build lasting and mutually beneficial friendly relations of cooperation, peace and understanding. Faithful to this deep conviction, Algeria will continue its role as an active force for peace and stability in Africa, lending its full support to the implementation of African solutions to African problems. I hope this new edition of the Oran process will further strengthen our collective commitment to promote these ideals, and I wish you fruitful deliberations as well as a pleasant and nice stay in the beautiful and vibrant city of Oran. Thank you once again for responding to our invitation. Thank you for contributing to the success of this new edition of the Oran process, and thank you all for your friendship and cooperation. Assalamu alaikum.
كانت إذن هذه كلمة وزير الشؤون الخارجية والجالية الوطنية بالخارج السيد رمضان العمامرة. إذن من وهران فالجزائر تحتضن طبعا الندوة التاسعة رفيعة المستوى حول السلم والأمن في إفريقيا. إذن الجزائر تحتضن هذه الندوة رفيعة المستوى من 7 إلى 9 من شهر ديسمبر الجاري. أشغال الندوة طبعا التاسعة رفيعة المستوى حول السلم والأمن في إفريقيا تحت عنوان دعم الأفارقة الجدد في مجلس الأمن الأمم المتحدة في التحضير لمعالجة مسائل السلم والأمن في القارة الإفريقية. وستعرف هذه الندوة التي ستجرى فعالياتها بمدينة وهران طبعا مشاركة رفيعة المستوى